Hey everyone, this is Paul. Welcome back to my new video series, Darn Good Advice. Today's Darn Good Advice is talking about understanding the theory of compounding interest, which is the secret to wealth creation. So let's get into it today. Let's start with a little bit of a reality check. You are not going to save your way to being wealthy. If you wanted to become a millionaire, you're not going to do it by saving. In order to do that over perhaps a 37-year average career, you would need to save more than 28,000 a year for 35 years to end up with $1 million. Well, that is simply not in my budget, and I'm going to guess it's probably not in yours either. But you can invest your way into millions. Plural, emphasis on the plural. So let's take a look at these numbers. I selected these numbers for a reason. $4,000 is the national average in the United States of what people contribute to their retirement plan. Do that over 35 years, and out of your pocket, you will have laid out 140,000, a far cry from $1 million. But let's look at what that 140,000 grows to 35 years of interest, compounding on interest, compounding on interest. That is 1,094,000 and change. Almost all of it is free money that you got from your earnings or your growth in the market. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these other aspects of compounding interest. First and foremost, yes, there's a formula for that, but in short, let's just talk about what compounding interest is. Imagine you're earning 10% every year, which is the average growth rate of the US stock market in the S&P 500 index. So no, there are no banks that pay a 10% interest rate. But if you buy into the S&P 500, and some years the stock is high, and some years the market goes low, and some years it goes high, and some years it goes low, but over time it averages 10%. Matter of fact, that's a very safe number because in reality, over the last 5+ years, it's been about 14 to 18%. Now, I don't want to base my calculations on something that aggressive. Let's settle for a very nice round number of 10%. It is a doable number. But as you're getting 10% each year on your growth, your earnings or your growth gets added to your principal amount, the amount that you started with. So you're getting interest on your interest year after year after year. So year number one, you get interest on your 4,000. Year number two, you get another 10% growth, but on 4,000 plus last year's 400. And now you're going to be getting 10% of that number added together, which means next year you're getting 10% on the 4,000 and the 400 and the 440 that you earn this time, always compounding the interest from the previous years. Interest on your interest on your interest on your interest grows into something ridiculous. And as it is an exponential growth, there will be a time when that earnings curve shoots straight up like a rocket ship. Now, let's address two concepts for investing for the future. Many people will say you have to start as early as possible. Now, the value of starting early as possible means less and less money goes out of your pocket and into your investments. Whereas if you wait until later, you have to invest more. But the secret to the equation is getting your nest egg big enough that each year when you earn 10%, that those earnings are substantial. So you can start later in life if you start throwing bigger chunks of money in. Or you can just start early and put a little bit of money aside. The formula is the same. It's only 10% each year. But the magic happens when the nest egg is big enough that each year's 10% earnings are substantial. And remember, they only get bigger year after year after year. And that's why the graph starts to shoot straight up. It's not a linear line growing off into infinity. It's a rocket ship. So the sooner you get started on this, the more years you get to add to the end of the graph where you could actually enjoy your money. Becoming a millionaire when you're 90, sorry, not interested. I want to get my millions when I'm still in my 50s or maybe 60s. So there is a pathway to millions through, yes, you guessed it, compounding interest. 4,000 a year at 10% annual growth. Now I already showed you how it becomes a million, but I want to show you something phenomenal. Remember I said the earnings get bigger every year. Watch this. Okay? $4,000 a year. In 35 years, you hit your first million. Okay? 1,094,000 in your first million, 35 years. How long does it take you to earn another million? Not 35 years. It actually jumps 7 years. From 35 years to 42, you will have 2.1, almost 2.2 million. Your third million comes in year 46, only 4 years later. So you've gone from 35 years to 7 years to 4 years. Your next million, 4.3 million, comes in 3 years. So now you understand why this is the secret to wealth creation. You're not going to do this by saving. You're not going to do this by being in bonds. You're not going to do this by putting your money in the savings account at your bank. This comes from the historic, not guaranteed, historic growth trend of the U.S. stock market, or at whatever you're investing in, hopefully at rates 8% and above, which is a doable number. So guys, gals, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that was today's darn good advice. Compounding interest and how it is the singular secret to wealth creation, and you need to get started as quick as possible. And I'm going to end with one little footnote. Remember, if you're paying interest on your minimum payments on your credit cards, etc., it's the same formula, but now you're giving the wealth to the bank. Turn that equation around, put yourself on the proper side of the equal sign, and let that growth become yours. Hey folks, this is Paul. Damn good advice. Please like and subscribe, and I'm going to see you in the next video.